Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Garcia, and today is Saturday, May 2nd, and here's your weekly update for the week of April 27th. Let's start with gold really quick. Now, as you can see with the chart on the weekly view, it's been choppy and has also been losing momentum just like the stock market. It can make up its mind. Right now, precious metals are really volatile, and the opportunity to make money on gold and silver has passed temporarily. It's going to come back, no worries, and I'll let you know, of course, then when that time is right. But gold looks like it has a chance to correct back down just like stocks. Why? Well, because right now investors were invested in gold, which is making money, but since they're about to lose money again on the stock market when it drops right now, they're going to have to sell any assets they're up on to make up for the losses, which in this case would be gold. So for now, I'm just out of it. Now for the stock market or the Dow, you can see we started the week at 23,775 and ended the week at 23,723 for an overall loss on the week of about 52 points. Here's a chart where you can see that action. This chart is in the daily view to see the daily activity. Now the white grid lines are a week apart, so you could see that. And just as I mentioned in last week's dip alert, there was a bounce in the beginning of the week since there was no economic news and everyone was just waiting to see what happens. And then, boom, the news came out, was digested, and the market reacted negatively, of course. Here you can see the bump up in price action and, of course, the eventual fall at the end of the week. Here's the chart in the weekly view. Again, as I like to say, the weekly chart gets rid of all the daily noise, and with the weekly view, you can tell easily if it was a good or bad week. Again, you can see that we finished lower than last week. Barely, but we definitely didn't make a higher high. You can see 2 negative weeks now in a row. The rally's losing momentum, and as the month progresses, more bad news will be coming out, and by mid-May, this can drop below its low of March 23rd. How can I be so sure? Well, let's look at history. Now, this article is from MarketWatch and was published just last week here on April 30th. U.S. jobless claims climbed 3.8 million in late April to push coronavirus total to 30 million. And right below that headline in the chart, you see record layoffs from coronavirus harken back to the Great Depression. Well, let's go back and look at the Great Depression. And as you can see here, it took 3 years for the unemployment to reach 26 million people. We did it here in 2020 in less than 2 months. We do have a bigger population, but because of electronics, things just move quicker. And just keep that in mind. Things move quicker here now in our era. Now, here's the stock market recreated from 1925 through 1935. You can see the peak in the stock market around September of 1929 when it was at 390 points, and it fell down to 198 points on November 13th, 1929. Then the market rallied until April 17th, 1930. The market rallied for 5 months, and then the second leg of the crash came. And it went even lower until the market finally bottomed on July 5th, 1932, at 43 points. That's what we call here a dead cat bounce. What is a dead cat bounce? Well, Investopedia defines a dead cat bounce as a temporary recovery of asset prices from a prolonged decline or a bear market that is followed by the continuation of the downtrend. A dead cat bounce is a small, short-lived recovery in the price of a declining security, such as a stock. Frequently, downtrends are interrupted by brief periods of recovery or small rallies where prices temporarily rise. The name dead cat bounce is based on the notion that even a dead cat will bounce if it falls far enough and fast enough. Now, let me ask you, have you heard of Black Monday and the stock market crash of 1987? Look at this headline from the New York Times on Tuesday, October 20th, 1987. 22% drop in one day. Interesting how back then they compared their crash to the Great Depression as well. Here's a chart from the era's price action. You can see the market peaked in the beginning of October, and the Black Monday came on October 29th. And look, a quick rally, then another drop, another rally followed by another drop. Then it kind of went sideways until it tested the low again 2.5 months later in December. This crash didn't drop below its original low, but it did retest the first original low after the crash. Remember the Great Recession of the 2000s? You remember. Remember the crash from 14,000 points on October 9, 2007? Look, the price dropped until about the 22nd and then it rallied. But you've seen this before, right? Yep, it dropped just like a typical dead cat bounce and dropped below its original low, just like in the Great Depression. So what do you think is going to happen now? This dead cat bounce has just started, and right now it's just like a roller coaster. You know how a roller coaster sounds and feels like right before it drops, right? It goes clink, 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 clink. And that's why I issued the dip alert last week, and that's why I sold out and had my friends and family sell out as well. As I mentioned in the dip alert, I decided to speculate and invest in the VIX or volatility index. This account here I am using specifically for my $500 to $1 million challenge. I sold some ETFs to show that I was selling, as I said on my dip alert, and putting in about $500 or $471.90 to be exact. This is as of Saturday, May 2nd. I'm up a modest 7.34% in 2 days. Not bad. Again, I'm speculating here. But as you can see, the VIX-Y went up as the stock market went down, and then the VIX-Y went down as the stock market has rallied. As you can see, there was a spike this week, and I'm betting that a dead cat bounce is about to ensue in the stock market, so I'm going to bet on the VIX-Y temporarily. This has the potential to be the first flip in my flip $500 to $1 million challenge. Want to turn $500 into $1 million with me? Check out my video, Turn $500 into $1 million challenge. But first, if you haven't already, please subscribe and share with all your loved ones that you want to have financial prosperity with. Cheers.